Jimmy sends me a message. I've heard you talk about DECA a few times. Can you elaborate what that means and what it stands for? DECA is a known principle in Jiu-Jitsu, and it stands for defend, escape, control, attack. In I was introduced to DECA actually a little bit later in my jiu-jitsu journey. I'm not sure why I discovered it earlier. However, it changed the way how I think about, particularly about escaping and defending. So, as I mentioned, the first step of the any escape for that matter is defending, making sure that my opponent is unable to make any progression forward towards him attacking. So essentially, I am removing his points of control in order for me to be safe. So whether that is protecting your face from getting hit, or protecting your neck from getting choked, perhaps hiding the elbows from getting submitted with arm bars, it is the actions that you are making, intelligent decisions that you are making in order for you to execute actions to defend yourself. Now, the moment you are defended, you are defending, at the moment that you feel quote unquote safe, where there's no immediate risk of somebody attacking you, that's when we can escape. Once we escape, we completely escape. We need to gain control. We need to be fully in control before we start attacking. The tricky part behind this is that I look at this whole concept as 4 different rooms. And I encourage you to think about it the same way. There is no hallway between them. There is no gray area. It's 4 different rooms where you open one door and you cross to another room and the door closes behind you. And what I mean by this is if you are escaping, you are not defending. If you're defending, you're definitely not in control. You're not controlling. If you're controlling, you're definitely not attacking. If you're attacking, you're definitely not defending or escaping. So acknowledging which stage you find yourself in this particular point of time is critical to the actions that you will be taking in order to achieve that specific action. So translating this into some tangible examples that you might find yourself in. Let's just say that you're on the bottom, your partner is on top, you are beginning quote unquote escapes. However, you are pushing and you're trying to get out of there at any given point, and somehow you get submitted. The $1,000,000 question at that point of time is, were you defending before you started to escape? Technically, if you were defending, you were not supposed to get submitted. And this is the interesting part about this whole concept is if I say, if anybody says I am defending right now, that means my partner should not be able to submit me. If they are submitting me while I'm defending, that means my defense is not efficient. I definitely should not be escaping if I am not defending. So I think the tricky part, not even interesting, but the tricky part behind this whole thing is the fact that oftentimes we find ourselves in a tough spot and we're trying to get the hell out of there at any cost. We try and remove ourselves from the situations without thinking that the more important and the first step is for us to defend ourselves in the circumstances we find ourselves in. If we flip this to a little bit more offensive side, let's just say we escaped, we defended, we escaped, and now we are, let's just say, on top, and we're trying to put an end to the match. We're trying to submit. And oftentimes, we're trying to submit without being in control. And that's where our partner escapes. I think this is even more visible at the very beginnings when we are very, very submission hungry. We're trying to submit and catch our partners execute chokes or arm locks. However, we don't understand the points of control. Oftentimes you will hear black belts or seasoned jiu-jitsu practitioners saying position over submission. Or they might be saying submission is a consequence of your setup. All these phrases fall into the DECA, meaning control is first. You need to be in charge in order for you to submit, in order for you to attack. An attack doesn't always even mean submission. Attack could be a reversal, and the attack could be a sweep. An attack would be even opening a guard. It could be an attack. Attack, in my mind, is something that is a tangible action to move you forward in order to put your partner at risk. So it doesn't necessarily need to be submission or a finish. It could be just offensive steps forward. So if you wrap all this up, it is, in my mind at least, a critical part of Jiu-Jitsu to really understand which segment or which room you find yourself in any given time. We might think we are in control, yet our partner submitted us. So the question is, were you really in control at that point of time? Explore this. This is interesting, and like I said at the beginning, it changed the way how I think about particularly escapes, but about a whole jiu-jitsu in general as well. So I'm hoping this will help you, and it will pave a very nice path right in front of you to make your jiu-jitsu journey even more effective. Peace. Keep on training.